The thief, his mother and $2 billion. في هذه الشريحة فإننا سوف نرى القصة غير كاملة، لكن في الشريحة التي تليها سوف نقرأ القصة بشكل صحيح. The full story. Pierre Dobley, 33, from Alsace in France, is a greatest art thief in Europe between 1995 and 2004. While he was working as a lorry driver, he stole 239 paintings from museums in France, Austria, and Denmark. He went into the museums just as they were closing and hid the paintings under his coat. Nobody looking at him because he was wearing a security guard's uniform. Back in his apartment where he was living with his mother, he filled his bedroom with priceless works of art. His mother, Sylvie, 53, thought all the paintings were copies. One day, while they were having supper, the police arrived and they took Pierre to the police station. Sylvie was so angry with her son that she went to his room, took some paintings from the walls and cut them into small pieces. Others she took and threw it into the river. Altogether, she destroyed art worth $2 billion. Both mother and son are now in prison for many years. Grammar and pronunciation. 1. What tense are the verb forms in exercise 4? Why are they used? Notice the pronunciation. Hi, living. Listen and repeat. How do you form the question and negative of these sentences? He was working. They were having supper. Look at these sentences. What's the differences between them? When they arrived, she made some coffee. When they arrived, she was making some coffee. Past continuous. Was where زائد المصدر زائد ing. Present participle. Positive and negative. I, he, she, it. Was, wasn't, was not. Working. We were. You weren't. They were not. Question. What was I doing? What was he doing? What was she doing? What was it doing? What were we doing? What were you doing? What were they doing? Short answers. Were you working yesterday? Yes, I was. Was she studying when you arrived? No, she wasn't. Use. The past continuous expresses a past activity that has a duration. I met her while I was living in Paris. You were making a lot of noise last night. What were you doing? 2. The activity began before the action expressed by the past simple. She was making coffee when we arrived. When I phoned Simon, he was having dinner. 3. The past continuous expresses an activity in the progress before and probably after a time in the past. When I woke up this morning, the sun was shining. What were you doing at 8 last night? Past simple and past continuous. The past simple expresses past actions as simple facts. I did my homework last night. What did you do yesterday evening? I watched TV. The past continuous gives past activities time and duration. The activity can be interpreted. What were you doing at 8? I was watching TV. I was doing my homework when Jane arrived. 3. In stories, the past continuous can describe the scene. The past simple tells the action. I was It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining and the birds were singing, so we decided to go for a picnic. We put everything in the car. For the questions below refer to a different time periods. The past continuous asks about activities before, and the past simple asks about what happened after. Examples: what were you doing when it started to rain? We were playing tennis. What did you do when it started to rain? We went home. Prepositions in the time expressions: at 6 o'clock, at midnight, at New Year, at the weekend, on on Saturday, on Monday morning, on New Year's Day, on January 18, in the morning, in December, in summer, in 1995, in 2 weeks' time. No prepositions: today, yesterday, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, the day before yesterday, last night, last week, 2 weeks ago, next month, yesterday evening, tomorrow evening, this evening, tonight. Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is a very famous character in literature. What you think is the correct answer to these questions? Sherlock Holmes was a doctor, scientist, detective. 2. He was American, English, Scotch. He lived in Chicago, London, Edinburgh. Stories about him first appeared in the 19th, 18th, 21st century. Who copied the exam questions? Sherlock Holmes was staying in one of England's most famous university towns. One evening he received a visit from an old friend, Mr. Henry Weaver, a tutor at one of the colleges. He seemed very nervous and excited. I need your help, Holmes. Something very serious happened at my college this afternoon. Holmes was very busy. Why don't you call the police? He said irritably. No, no, that's impossible. We can't have a scandal at the college. Let me explain. You see, tomorrow is the first day of the university examinations, and this afternoon I received the Greek translation papers. I put them on the desk in my room while I went to have tea with a friend. When I returned, I saw immediately that the papers were laying on the floor by the window. I see, said Holmes. Please continue. Well, at first I thought that perhaps my servant, Bannister, was responsible, but of course he said no, and I believe him. He and I examined the room very carefully. And what did you find? Asked Holmes impatiently. On the table next to the window we found a broken pencil. Also on my desk there was a small ball of black mud. There were no signs of injury at the window. Please help me, Holmes. It's clear that someone copied the exam questions. If I don't find who did it, I will have to cancel the exam and there will be a scandal. I need to visit your room, said Holmes. Looking for clues. They walked towards the tutor's room, which was on the ground floor. Holmes tried to look in through the window, but he wasn't tall enough. Above lived 3 students, one on each floor. Holmes entered the room and examined the carpet. Nothing, he said. Let me look at the table by the window. What can you see? Oh, yes, it's clear what happened. Someone took the papers one at a time from your desk over to the window table to copy them, because from there he could see when you were returning, but nobody could see me. I came back through the side door. Oh, So you surprised him and he had to leave hurriedly. Did you hear someone running away as you entered? No. Interesting. So we just have one small ball of black mud as a clue. Now tell me, where does that door go to? My bedroom. Can I examine it? Yes, of course. Holmes followed Weaver into his bedroom. Hello, said Holmes. What's this? Another small ball of black mud, exactly like the one on the desk. Clearly, your visitor came into the bedroom. I don't understand. Why did he do that? Well, when you came back suddenly, he ran into your bedroom to hide. Look at the bedroom window. It's open. That is obviously how he escaped. The three suspects. Now, said Holmes, the three students who live above you. Are they all taking this examination? Yes. Tell me about them. Well, on the first floor is Gershom, an excellent student and an athlete, particularly good at the long jump. He is hard working but poor. And the second floor, Dewalt Ross lives there. He is from India, very quiet and hard working, but Greek translation is his weak subject. And finally, there's Miles McLearn on the top floor, a very intelligent student, one of the best when he chooses the work, but he is very lazy and very worried about this exam. Now tell me, said Holmes, how tall are these young men? How tall? What a strange question. Hmm, I think Miles is taller than Indian, but Grisham is the tallest, over 6 feet. Oh, that's important. Now, Weaver, I wish you good night. I will return tomorrow. Next morning, Sherlock Holmes left his house very early. Before he returned to the daughter's room, Mr. Weaver was waiting nervously for him.